everybody, welcome to Review Time with Islip. I am Islip, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Fans Toys FT-24 Rouge. Now, a lot of people are saying Rogue. I can see how you can kind of get that because we're used to seeing Rogue from the X-Men where the G is where the U is, the U is the G. To switch it, it's Rouge. Rouge means pink or red or something in French. This is the box she comes in, and it's a pretty narrow little box. But it's functional. It's functional. It does what it needs to do. There's a bio. Feel free to read it if you want to. I'm not gonna, but it shows you all the stuff you kind of get. Some of the poses you can get. She is very posable, but she has a hard time standing because of the way her feet are. In the box, you get your little card and instruction booklet, which honestly, I found the instruction booklet to be fairly useless. The pictures are too tiny and very confusing. I didn't like this at all. I actually figured out how to transform it between looking at a video of somebody's video and just working it out. She gets a bunch of different faces, which let me go ahead and bring this out. I'll zoom in a little bit because I only have one light source today. She's got this face here, which is fairly identical to the face she comes with. You've got this, this face here, come on, which I think these two are fairly identical, except that, the cheeks are slightly different on one, and yeah, it's a very minimal change. You get her hot rod glasses from that one time that she used them, I guess, in the movie. You have her, I guess that's her speaking to you sternly / yelling face, and then you kind of get this kind of adult-ish face. Okay, and then there's this face here, which she comes with one of these. Where are you? One of these faces. This is one of her fifth faces. The sort of anime-esque big eyes kind of deal there. Big eyes, small, narrow nose and everything. And the way you take the faces off is you lift this up and then you just pull the faces off. And they just connect via that little blue, there's a little opening, underneath where the blue strip is. If you look, you can see that opening and you just plug it in that way. Let's see, what face will we go with? Let's go with one of her normal faces that she came with. And just push it back on. Get this closed up. And there you've got Arcee with her normal faces. So there's that. We're going to move her off to the side so we can, again, look at more of her bits. She comes with two guns. She comes with this rifle, and she comes with this little handgun, which looks pretty nice. Looks really nice. She comes with extra hands. So her extra hands, like her normal hands that she comes with, have these little, if you look, there's a little tab that comes out. That's to plug into the weapons. If we can get this, there we go. It slots into the hand grip like that, and then it holds the weapon pretty well. Without that, she really doesn't hold the weapons. Then she's got her alternate hands, which, let's see if we can get it out. Her alternate hands, which don't have the tab, and they're in a sort of feminine, almost delicate pose. Some people don't like it. I actually kind of like it because it looks, again, very feminine, as Arcee should. And she comes with an alternate breastplate. Now, this is the breastplate she comes in. where her boobs are a little bigger. I actually like this as opposed to the other breastplate she comes with, but her butt isn't big enough to balance this out, so she ends up looking weird because her top is very curvy and her bottom is rather flat. She fell down. She fell down because the table that I'm using wobbles, and she does not have very good stability when it comes to standing. I'm just going to get all this stuff out of the way so we can focus on Rouge in her robot mode, which is how she comes packaged. She comes packaged in her robot mode. Okay, that goes over there. Let's get this over here. I'll probably cut this part out if I've left enough space. Sorry for the weird lighting. My other lamp is in the closet, and I don't really feel like getting it out. I'm going to be branching out and doing other things aside from the normal stuff that I'm normally doing. I'm trying to get back into everything. One of the things I'm going to be doing, if I haven't already shown it, is I'm going to be doing React videos. So we'll see how that goes. I'll give it a try, and if I really don't feel it's going anywhere, then I'll stop. But they're not going to replace my normal videos, so don't worry. I'm not replacing. You know, we'll leave that to the side. I'm not replacing my normal videos with React videos. That would not do that. That would not be right. I don't like when people I watch replace the content I've watched with, you know, React videos or something else. It's like, why'd I come to you and then you want to change it? So here we go. There is Vans Toys Rouge, and I got to say, let's move this a little closer. She is one very nice Arcee. She's a very slim Arcee. She's a robot, so I guess, you know, she doesn't need to be, but she's very nice. Very nice. She compacts really well. Well, I don't want to say compacts really well because that's not the right word, but she looks really nice. Now, again, her butt looks very weird, and I guess I never actually realized it, but her butt cheeks go down to her legs, but they're not. Like, her legs are thick and muscular, but her butt, it just seems so flat. I don't really dig that. I don't dig that. But otherwise, it's pretty good. Her backpack compacts about as well as you could imagine. I'm not too fond of how they have these sort of struts going across to the backpack. I don't like that. I would have rather it attached to the back or something, but it's the nature of the transformation. She's very panely in the legs, but if you look at the other Arcees and even at the animation model, especially for the movie, she's very panely in the legs. So there's that. Let's go off with the articulation. Her head rotates a 360. She can look up that far. Let's zoom in a little bit because I'd like to get her details in really good. Because from far away you don't see very well, but she looks, again, she looks amazing. Best looking Arcee we've got hands down. So she looks up. She can look down. And of course the left and right. She has slight head tilt. Her backpack comes on two hinge struts plus another hinge in there, so you've got options for how you want to pose. I usually just leave them like this where they're almost closed because to me that looks the best. I know a lot of people have them splayed all the way out like this, and you know, that's a thing too. I mean, that looks closer to like the animation. Actually, the animation model has them just poking out at angles. So, but for me, I just like it like this the best. Her arms can go out about that far. Rotates a 360. rotates at the upper bicep. Be careful because the first time I pulled her out, she has a mushroom peg there. The first time I pulled her out, her arm came right off. This arm right here. I mean, it's in fastened now, but I don't know if it just wasn't fastened in properly or what. She has mixed rotation. Hands go out like that, and her fingers, her 4 fingers are one piece. Let's see what else. And she's got a double hinged elbow. So there's that for. So so yeah, her arm rotates here. Her wrist rotation is right here. What you do to change the arms is you just pop it off of that peg, and then pop another arm in. I'm not going to do that too often because I don't want to take the risk of breaking anything. I don't think it's going to break anytime soon, but I don't want to chance it. So I have it where she has one hand that doesn't have those little posts, and one hand that does, so she can hold a weapon in one hand and just be regular with the other hand. She has no rotation at her waist, although she does wiggle side to side. That's kind of a shame because she's always posed in sort of a, looks like she's always posed in a sort of stoic stance where her pelvis is always pushed out, which you can't see because I don't have the camera set right. Her pelvis is always pushed out no matter, and if you don't, then it looks like she's hunched over. So there's that. It also makes balancing hard because of the way her feet are. Now her legs go out that far. Now I've seen one reviewer whose legs were stuck, and that sucks because you do pay a lot of money for this and to have issues like that. But her legs do go out that far. They go back that far. If you go, you got to be careful. If you go any further backwards, you'll unclip her waist, which I did already. Let's see. Her waist goes. See, her waist wants to unclip. Her legs go forward straight. Let's see. You've got upper thigh rotation. You've got a single bend at the knee. That's really wonderful. And her feet are very articulate forward. You've got backwards movement. You got a little forward toe moves and some side to side rocker movement, and her foot basically does a 360. So you've got a lot of posing options, except that she doesn't have. Unfortunately, she doesn't have heels that stick out far enough, so she tends to go backwards real easily. But you can get her in some dynamic poses if you want to, or you can, get her in sexy poses. I'm not sure what the hell I'm doing, but you can do stuff. You can do stuff, like whatever that is, like. I don't know. She's crawling on her knees. I don't know. But you can do a lot of stuff. It's just a matter of getting her to what do you call it? Balance. Balance is the key, and balance is kind of hard with this figure because, again, her feet are not wide enough to do what they need to do. So, like right now, I'm having a very hard time balancing her. There we go. There we go. I've got her balanced. Alright, so let's do some size comparisons. Go ahead and get her next to Masterpiece Optimus. I think that looks okay. I'm not really sure how big she is supposed to be next to him, but that looks fairly okay to me. I would love for Fans Toys to do a slight remold of her as Alita 1 or Ariel. Ariel would be fine too. Here she is next to I forget which number this is, but MP Rodimus. I don't know if that's correct though. I would think if we were going for MP scale that they would be at least the same size. I could be wrong. Hot Rod, Rodimus, whatever. Here we have MP09 Hot Rod slash Rodimus Prime. I've got him in his Rodimus Prime mode, which is just Hot Rod with the old face. And yeah, I think that's okay. Actually, I think she should be taller. Now that I think about it, she should be a little taller, but I'm okay with that. Here she is next to KFC's Citizen Stacks. My preference for MP Ultra Magnus, and he is huge. I know in the cartoon he's not that big compared to her. So, I mean, he's almost twice her size, but it's okay. I can deal with that. I mean, he does turn into a truck with a trailer mixed together, so MP Bumblebee, MP Spike or Daniel. So I leave it as Daniel. I'm gonna get the Doctor Wu head if I can ever find it again. Let's see. Here we have the official Generations Thrilling 30 Arcee, which she was pretty great too. She has wide hips, which that's fine with me because I kind of like the wide hips. They stand a little too wide, but you know. And then we have the I forgot who made this one. The I think it was it Wei Zhang, Cuban Bao. I forget who made the knockoff oversized Arcee, which honestly for me she was fairly perfect. The only thing I didn't like is that her hips, if you look, her hips are not cooperating. I wish they would go in a little bit more without having to have her have an A stance all the time. But I mean, she has the same issue sort of, but her legs go in a little bit better, so she has thunder thighs. I love thunder thighs, and she has a better shape. If you look at her butt, it's better. It's a better. They both have better shaped butts. They're rounder, and I think that's the only thing I don't really like about this is that her butt is so flat. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. So yeah, I'm gonna get her transformed and be right back. I'm not gonna transform her on camera because transforming her is pretty much a nightmare. It is a nightmare. I don't like doing it. I'm not going to do it very often. She's going to stay in her robot mode for the most part. And that's that. It involves pulling things in ways I don't feel comfortable doing. It involves... it's just, I can't keep doing that. So that's my biggest complaint about her is the transformation. That's the biggest complaint. It is a nightmare, and I'm not doing it on camera. So I'll be right back. Alright, so Shazam, there she is in her car mode. And it looks okay. I guess it looks like it's supposed to look. There is a lot of stuff underneath. She is pretty much a shell former. You just collapse her legs and everything like this. And then all from here, all the way to here, all of this, that's the things that were in her shoulders. All that came out to form most of the shell of the car. These pieces here were her back and her front, and actually this is the back side of her front and her back together. I mean, and she's pretty good, and she kind of rolls. I mean, there's not a lot of clearance. I may not have got everything transformed quite correctly, but I tried, and yeah, it's pretty nice. She's got seats. She's got a steering wheel. She's got, bless you, she's got a little control console. So she's alright. Holy crap, that scared the heck out of me. Okay. So she's pretty alright. If I'm honest though, I mean, she looks good, but I honestly like the way this one came out better. As far as the car mode, the curves look so much nicer. It looks good. I like that. This looks okay. I mean, but I mean, I guess that's the way she looked as the car in G1 when she did turn into the car. I really kind of wish they didn't have wheels on her though. And they don't really roll very much anyway, so there's really no point. But yeah, I just kind of wish they didn't have wheels on her. That just kind of bugs me because she didn't have wheels in the show. So that said, she's pretty cool. Let's see, do I have anything that I can? Here she is with the little Spike figure that came with MP10, and I think he could just about sit. Yep, he just about fits right there. He sits there. It's not the best fit, but it still works. It still works. I think I have some of the Doctor Wu partner guys. I don't have any season 3 Spikes. Here we have Spike standing right next to her. Is that Spike? Yeah, that's Spike. I had to crazy glue his leg because it came off and wouldn't stay on. So I crazy glued it so he's always stuck in a standing position. But here's Sparkplug in a sitting position, and he does fit inside there nicely too. So yeah, let's go ahead and get these guys out. So there's really not much else to say. Oh, there is one thing to say. No weapon storage whatsoever. That sucks, but it could be worse. Let's get her out of here. That said, she's a great Arcee. I love her, especially in her robot mode, which is what she's going to spend pretty much all her time in, is in the robot mode. She will rarely see this mode because, for one thing, as good as it may be as far as the original, I just like the Thrilling 30 Arcee. I just like this mode way better. This just looks way better in my opinion. And the other thing is the transformation is a nightmare. At one point in the transformation, it looks like she exploded. It's really horrible. I don't like the transformation one bit. It works. It does what it needs to. And then there's also let's see if I can show them. Let's get you out of the way. These metal posts here. These are the little struts that go from her shoulders to her little things that hang on the back of her. You have to force them through. Like there's some plastic pieces like right up against it. And you have to force the like pry the plastic sideways and force it through to get it out. There's no way. It doesn't have any clearance whatsoever. There's no clearance. There's really no clearance. It's you have to force it, and that was a horrible idea because I don't see that helping this figure last as long as a $100 figure should. So that said, though, she's pretty cool. Oh, she has a lot of die cast in her. A lot. She is heavy as hell. If I threw this at somebody, they might not have a concussion, but they would be very well displeased with the lump on their forehead. So that said, I'm Iced Up. Thanks for watching. There's nothing more to say. I like the figure. I think it was a worthy purchase for me. I have heard there are some issues like paint chipping. I haven't had any paint chipping with the transformation with me, but then again, I've only done it a few times. And one reviewer had an issue where the legs would not go out, so they weren't able to transform their figure. They were afraid to, with good reason. With very good reason. I don't blame them. They said this was a pass, and in his instance, it was very well a pass. In my instance, it was a pretty good buy. I think the robot mode, hands down, is the best out of any Arcee we've gotten. If I'm gonna be honest, though, as far as the vehicle mode, the Thrilling 30 Arcee is the best one we've gotten. The worst one we've gotten would have to be Toy World's Leah. That was And I'm gonna tell you what else is wrong with that figure. The head is too small, the hands are too big, the shoulders are way too big for that figure. Everything else, though, as far as in the robot mode, I think the proportions are fine, except that the shoulders, the head, and the hands, oh, and the feet are gigantic. Other than that, though, she would have actually made a great a great Arcee, and I might get her and see if I can find a way to get a bigger head for her to put on there, and then she'd be almost perfect as far as a robot Arcee. But this one, it was great too. This one, like, if I was just gonna go on looks, I really didn't find very much fault with her, except that maybe she needed a bigger butt or a rounder butt. Yeah, y'all are like looking at me like, dude, it's a robot. Yeah, I know it's a robot, but still, okay, still. That said, I'm Isip. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and hope you enjoy the new content I'm putting out. We'll see. It's an experiment. Ciao.